Hello and welcome back, YouTubers and Mavericks alike, to What You Missed News. Today, I'm doing something a little bit different. People have complained about me using masks, so I'm sorry I failed you. I guess people don't like the shark mask anymore, or my other masks. I've had an idea and it didn't really pan out, so I'm going to try and get some other masks that are a little bit more unique and different, and that's what I'll be doing. But that's not the reason why you're seeing what you're seeing here. It's basically because my computer over there is trashed. The motherboard's dead, man, and this has happened to me before. So I'm going to have to order a few parts and just wait for them to come in. Hopefully they'll come in a timely fashion, but I guess there's no real guarantee to that now, is there? And until then, I'm going to be using my significant other's computer. Another computer that I hand-built, but nonetheless, I guess mine just didn't work out when I was upgrading it. So I'm ordering replacement parts as we speak. So for the next few videos, you're going to see me recording here with a cloud headset on. And hopefully my buttery smooth voice will be coming over just in the highest quality as I used to over there. So let's jump right into the news. The first news story I have to talk about is 13 reasons why the Fallout franchise is better than the Elder Scrolls. This is kind of an opinion piece. I mean, there's no questioning to it. It is an opinion piece, but I think it's very silly that this is even an opinion piece because, like, come on, man. They're both built on almost the same exact technology. Things are a little bit better on Fallout side, especially Fallout 4 because it's a later game entry. But with the mod support that's offered for both games, you can make them identical. There's probably people out there who have modded Fallout 4 so much that it's basically Skyrim, and Skyrim so much that it's basically Fallout 4. They have almost identical systems and identical ways of handling things in the game. I don't even see how one could be better than the other. One's just set in a post-apocalyptic scenario, and the other one is set in kind of medieval times, a medieval era, and a medieval take on things. So, yeah, there you go, man. If you're interested in that, go ahead and look at those reasons. There are version differences for the gold and silver games that are going to be releasing recently on the Virtual Console. If you're interested in those games, please remember to check them out. Some people still have their cartridges, and other people engage in the evil practices of emulation. I'll be talking about a DMCA and a copyright strike later on, but for now, if you emulate these games or you have the cartridge, you probably won't be buying them again. However, there are variations and differences between the two versions of the games. So some of the biggest things that you need to look out for is that on each game you can get Ho-Oh or Lugia at an early or later date, depending on which game you choose, obviously. And then on top of that, certain Pokemon are available versus others. Like, for example, one of the better Pokemon that you could get in Gold would be like Gyarados and Arcanine, and in Silver you can get Skarmory. Those are my personal feelings. Some people like Delibird, some people like Mantine more, but the rest of them are meh at best. Remember, this is Gold and Silver, so Gligar can't evolve into Gliscor, and the same with movesets and stuff like that and TMs. So really this is just all about playing through the game itself and catching them all, as opposed to actually making a viable competitive team. So try to keep that in mind when purchasing whichever game you want. So Minecraft's Better Together update is here. It's coming out, and Android, iOS, Windows 10, and Xbox One will automatically be available if you already own Minecraft, but this allows multiple consoles and systems to play together. It tweaks bugs and fixes as usual. This is the biggest thing, though, because it's cross-platforming that is going to be ending up coming together. Basically, I mean, that's the update name, so there you go. But this also includes Nintendo consoles. The details on that can be found in this article. It seems that Sony are the only ones who don't want to play ball because think of the children. Don't want those Sony players getting hurt on those mean old Xbox servers. But real deal, real talk, that's the reason why they don't want to crossplay. They don't think their players would be safe on Microsoft's side. So the Xbox's head, Phil Spencer, joins Microsoft's senior leadership team. Congratulations on your promotion, Phil Spencer. I really appreciate you as an icon. He's taken Xbox, the brand, out of its worst situations possible and raised it up into something way, way better. And I think that's really good what he's done. If you guys remember the launch of the original Xbox One, it basically crushed the brand. Xbox was on top of the world with the Xbox 360, and everyone couldn't wait to get their hands on the Xbox One until they saw the always online DRM practices Kinect needed Xbox One. And Phil Spencer turned that around for the company, and I think he deserves a promotion for doing so. So he's done very well for himself. Congratulate him over on Twitter. I sent him a tweet. I'll go ahead and post that in a screenshot so you'll actually just be able to see the official verified Twitter. And yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Someone to strive for in the gaming community, a very good role model. So in an article published on IGN, this is probably the silliest thing I've read today, Super Mario Odyssey feels like it's taking cues from Zelda Breath of the Wild. One moment, let me think for a minute. Who's behind Zelda and Mario? What producers work with who? Oh, that's right, Miyamoto. They're the same, man. Miyamoto works heavily with Zelda, works heavily with Mario. You have two open world games that work together in tandem, are developed by the same company around the same exact time. Is this even a surprise? Why is this an article? This isn't a shock at all, man. I mean, it would be basically comparing Super Mario 64 and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. My God, man. It's like 20 years later, and we're just getting remakes of older games with different features, different styles, and different stories. It's the same story. I'm not saying it's bad at all. I'm just saying that it's not really a surprise that it takes cues from Zelda Breath of the Wild. A very successful Nintendo Switch game, I might add. One of the strangest articles I'm seeing is that Angry Birds now sponsors a football team, and apparently it's a laughingstock. This is football abroad in other countries, not football for America, so no pigskin throwing. Okay, basically what ended up happening is this team is being sponsored by Angry Birds on their sleeves. Alright, cool, right? Not a big deal. No one really cares. I mean, I think a lot of people would probably laugh at it because it's Angry Birds and it's an iOS app. But what about people who are sponsored by Pepsi or Coca-Cola or some other company, you know? It's okay for people, and people accept Nike and Reebok and stuff like that on player sleeves because that's sports related, right? But this is one of the most blatant examples of sponsorships and selling out than I've ever seen in my life. And I keep talking about that, why it's important to not do that, because you become a laughingstock. Now, you could sit here and say that's hypocritical because, you know, you have people out there who are sponsored by Red Bull, you know. Do you think they drink Red Bull while they're on the field playing football or soccer or whatever, right? I don't know, probably not, but at the same time, they're sponsored by it. So, do you think this is hypocritical that people are laughing at them for being sponsored by Angry Birds? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. So, a garbage man has found a working PlayStation 4 in the trash. I mean, it's not really a surprise. I found a working laptop in the garbage once. I saw it sticking out, and I literally watched someone throw it away, and I said to myself, why would you throw away a laptop? Let me go check it. Turned it on, worked perfectly fine. It was an XP machine. It was old. It was about 2007 model, 2008, but nevertheless, it still works. I gave it away. People should really donate to Goodwill and not throw their stuff away, but this seems to be a case of someone who might have had their stuff thrown away that didn't want to have their stuff thrown away because they were still signed into the PlayStation 4 account, and this guy decided to turn off auto renewal just to save him quite a few dollars, which is really nice of him. I think it's really sad if someone got their PlayStation 4 thrown away over nothing. Who knows, maybe this was just some rich kid who got a PlayStation 4 Pro and he threw away his PlayStation Slim. This guy's name is the Trash Man. The Trash Man. Give me a big thumbs up if you get that reference. You know exactly what I'm talking about. He streams on Twitch. You can check him out. You'll see everything you need on the screen right now to go check him out. But he streams picking up garbage. So that's the thing. Moving on, hackers apparently say they found that Nintendo Switch contains a game that unlocks on the date of Iwata's death. You guys know who Iwata is. He produced and created and worked on and programmed many games at Nintendo. If you played a Nintendo game in the last 20 years, you've probably played a game that was somehow involved with Iwata. He's that big. He used to be Nintendo's president. He used to be the person who was representing Nintendo the most, and he died recently, and it's very sad. Everyone was very upset about him. Well, Nintendo have come out and talked about how they put Golf, the NES Golf, onto every Switch, and a lot of people were confused about why there was an NES emulator on every Switch system, and they thought it had to do with the upcoming Virtual Console. Well, it turns out that this is just a homage, kind of a charm, as they put it, to give good luck to people for, you know, Iwata's death, unfortunately, and it's supposed to bring you good luck by keeping this object on you, or keeping this on you. And because Golf was a game that he programmed, it's all tied together. You guys can read the article if you want, it's there, but that's the long and the short of it. Working for Nintendo used to be hell, but at least we got cool music out of it. So one of the composers over at Nintendo was being interviewed. This is talking about their time composing Super Metroid, and this was in the 90s. They were talking about how that they never got breaks. It was very rare for them to get time off. There were futons in the office where they would go and lay down and sleep there and continue their work over and over and over again. This was the 90s. I know there are labor laws, and there were labor laws back then, but there are even better labor laws now. I don't think I would work that hard, because even when I was in the Army, I got time off to go and sleep in an actual a bunker in a bunk bed. So it's crazy to see how busy these people were, how hard they had to work, and it's really depressing at the same time. Because for me personally, if the Army treated me better than their company treated them, that's really sad, and that's Nintendo themselves. But that's in an interview on Nintendo's site itself. So I don't think Nintendo's trying to cover this up or hide it like Konami was at the time. Allegedly, don't sue me, please, Konami. But, you know, people have come out and talked about how bad Konami treated them. Now, this was happening in the 90s, and I don't think Nintendo treats their developers in the same way as they do today. But the Japanese culture does emphasize working hard. If you guys didn't know that, they do work a lot of hours over there. Four Horsemen is an immigration game about immigrants and refugees, and it's sort of apocalyptic as well. But the title says that it's an immigration game that tells an important story that's falling short, unfortunately. So I don't know if this is a good game or a bad game, but the long and the short is that my personal opinion is that when you center a game around a political issue, a hot button topic at the time, it's not a game that's going to have a long-lasting impact on the gaming industry a lot of the time. It's going to be short-lived, and if you don't nail every aspect of the game, a lot of people aren't going to like it, and it's just going to end up fizzling out. One of the basic examples I can cite on this is that there's a picture in this article of a woman sweeping a destroyed house or building of some sort, and you can see that the roof is collapsing in. Now, excuse me, pardon me for a moment, why are you sweeping when you're literally looking up and you can see the sky inside the building? Yeah, and there's rocks falling in, water coming in. Why are you sweeping? See, the devil's in the detail, and it completely takes me out of the game. Now, this game might be perfectly written, but that's one of the things that just kills me about it. I honestly think it wouldn't even get this much attention, only for the simple fact that there's immigration policies, and it's a timely kind of thing that's happening right now that are affecting the rest of the world. So that's the only reason it's getting attention. Finally, I want to end on this. Nintendo files a copyright strike against Super Mario 64 Online. Thank you, Nintendo. So, thank you so much. Now, I'm going to not be defending Nintendo that much here, but they are 100% legal within their rights to do this. And a statement from Nintendo. Quote, Nintendo's broad library of characters, products, brands are enjoyed by people around the world, and we appreciate the passion of our fans. But just as Nintendo respects the intellectual property and rights of others, we must also protect our own characters, trademarks, and other content. It's as stock as you can get. I mean, look, they're well within their legal rights. Super Mario 64 was an online game where you could play Super Mario 64 with 24 players together. Now this is a ROM hack of Super Mario 64, but see, here's the problem. I'm not going to defend this whatsoever. I know a lot of you might be shocked, but listen. Nintendo are still selling Super Mario 64. They're selling it on the Wii U. There are variations being sold in the 3DS Virtual Console marketplace. There are games that were remade, like Super Mario 64 DS. That was remade, and I can't defend this. I really can't, because they're still selling the ROM. Now, it would be one thing if this person had started putting out Mother 3. Okay, we've heard rumors that it's not even going to be localized for the Americas. So Nintendo really wouldn't have much of an argument, and they probably wouldn't even bother with taking it down, honestly, because they probably aren't ever going to be releasing it here. So if you can't get the game, you can't buy it, you can't get it translated, you can't officially support the company by spending your money to get the game, then, you know, I can't see the company going out of its way to DMCA you for doing a fan project or just releasing the game in a translated state of somehow, or a parody, you know. Again, you're able to critique and fall under fair use and parody, but this is a game that's literally being sold and you're offering it to people with the option of multiplayer mode. That's the only change that was being done to it as far as Nintendo was concerned. And this person had a patron too, and they got the patron taken down, even though they claimed that it was completely separate, but I don't think Nintendo sees it that way. And you can go ahead and fight Nintendo on this. You can go ahead and fight against Nintendo, but guess what? They got lawyers for days, and by the way, the lawsuit probably wouldn't take place until 5-10 years later. So, good luck. At the end of the day, is it right to sit here and make games based upon games that Nintendo are selling? I don't know. You can subjectively argue that if you want to. For me personally, I don't think it's right. I think it's okay to critique. I think it's okay to parody. But to put out a game that is basically the same exact game that's being sold for cash, it's very difficult to argue. Again, you can argue the merits of emulation and ROMs, but Nintendo has DMCA'd it for a reason. So that's it for What You Missed News. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please leave me a thumbs up if you did, because I am incredibly hot with these headphones and hat on. Maybe I will try a different costume. Put your suggestions in the comment section below. You want to see the return of Sharko Mario? Would you like to see different masks? Let me know your thoughts and opinions. And I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. As always, good gaming, God bless. Oh, wait, hang on. 1 second. You guys were thinking that this was me, weren't you, right? Well, you might be correct, but then again, I could have just dubbed the voiceover. So I'll let you guys debate that in the comment section below. And I think I left off at good gaming and God bless. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully in a couple days it'll be behind my computer instead of my significant other's.